Good Friday morning to you. This is Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights. This weather video driven by 802cars.com representing 802 Toyota, Twin City Subaru, and 802 Honda, all located off of Exit 7 on Interstate 89. You're looking at reconnaissance taking place, Hurricane Hunter aircraft flying through, yes, Category 3 Matthew. This is the big story. Of course, the track is going to take it up off the coast. And it looks like it'll be far enough to the east that it'll have lesser effects actually for Jacksonville, but there still could be some storm surge and whatnot. However, this is just removed a little bit off, and this of course loops around, and it's a very crazy track. I'm not sure it'll make the entire loop. It may loop-de-loop and then loop back. Further up to the north in our neck of the woods, nothing but high pressure. High pressure also includes some areas of fog, and that's what we had this morning. You can see the fingers here in Susquehanna River Basin, and of course up and down the Connecticut River once the satellite fills in here, and the various smaller tributaries, Winooski, White River, Lamoille River, and so forth and so on. Looking at the 6 hourly panels, looking at the European model, of course, we have precipitation. We also have thicknesses, atmospheric thicknesses in the red, areas where it will rain, in the blue, areas where that could support some snow. 5,400 meter thickness usually is the dividing line here, supporting colder air and whatnot. And then, of course, here is Hurricane Matthew. So we'll run the computer model here, and you can see it's just a little bit off the coast of the east coast of Florida, and this is valid at 2 o'clock this afternoon, Friday afternoon. This will be valid at 8 o'clock in the evening, and then 2 a.m. Saturday morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, 2 p.m. in the afternoon, 8 o'clock in the evening on Saturday, and so forth. And you can see that it just does a loop-de-loop. Now looking at our frontal structure here, you can see that a little bit of moisture does get enhanced and pulls up out ahead of this cold front. And so some of this moisture is going to make it here into Vermont. So it comes in with a little bit of a chunk, kind of enhances it, and then kind of falls apart. And that's the name of the game here, and why we've been seeing very dry conditions across the northeast United States, as these things are just falling apart as they head toward New England. Meanwhile, keep your eyes on Matthew. And by the way, this is Hurricane Nicole, Category 1 hurricane. It may be reduced to a tropical storm. I haven't really been checking. This is Bermuda, so these two are kind of working in tandem. Let's go back and check that out here. So keeping an eye on what Matthew does and then what Nicole does, and the two are kind of playing around. Matthew does another loop and then heads out to the northeast. And again, we're in Wednesday next week, Thursday next week, and then we're looking at Friday next week. Matthew is off the North Carolina coast between Bermuda and Cape Hatteras, and then takes a track to the right. Just too far out to really trust that. Another area of higher pressure, of course, enhancing everything. And this is what's contributing to our dry areas and potentially some fire danger. This is a quick check on 7 days worth of maximum wind speeds, and you notice no light greens here, the European model showing. And this is where our strongest winds are. Looks like it's just a little bit offshore, but certainly grazing the coast. A very close call for areas right up into southern North Carolina. 7-day accumulated rainfall from the Weather Prediction Center. You can see enhanced precipitation across these areas in coastal southeast U.S. and off the coast. Switching over to temperature, you can see temperature is near neutral or running just a little bit above normal for this time of year. About 3 days later, we do warm up. That includes what we'll be seeing in the middle to end of next week, running about 6 degrees above seasonal norms. Looking at the GFS ensemble, also see dry weather, some rain showers that occur over on Saturday and carry a little bit over into Sunday morning. And then it looks like it remains dry for several days to come. The next chances for showers, the end of the 13th, more toward the 14th. 8 a.m., we're looking at Hurricane Matthew statistics here. 105 knots sustained, gust 130 knots, and radius of circulation 270 nautical miles. That's down from what it was. 20 nautical miles in terms of radius maximum winds. That's a little bit expanded. 15-mile diameter and so forth. So some of the latest hurricane models continue. Pretty close track to South Carolina, southern North Carolina around Wilmington, Cape Fear, and then we have a loop or not. Once again, GFS ensemble, no issues for the Northeast United States. Nice loop and then a loop back to the Northeast. Latest hurricane intensity, still a Category 3, about mid-level there, and projected generally to make a nice downfall here. This is the official black line here of the forecast. So we'll be into tropical storm territory in about 2 days, which is all good news. And then it stays really below Category 1 from that point on. And due to the very dry nature of our current areas of higher pressure straddling our region, especially the one next week, we might be getting into perhaps a little bit of fire danger. It doesn't look like it's a big deal. It's not like spring, but with a lot of the dry leaves and those areas that are going to be past peak, there could be an issue here of some minor fire danger, something we'll have to watch in the near future as relative humidities come down each afternoon. Any winds could enhance any kind of fire danger, something we'll be watching for. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights.